Hi friends, it's Nicole from the Bronx Children's Museum. I hope you're having an awesome day and that you're excited to learn some fun new things. Today, we're going to be talking about how different animals have special body shapes and forms which help them to survive in a particular environment or habitat. So first, we're going to read a book, then we're going to take a look at some special Bronx animals, and then I'll show you how to do a clay activity where you get to build your own animal with its own cool forms and functions. Let's get started. Have you ever noticed how long an elephant's nose is? Or how hard a turtle's shell is? Why do you think some animals have different shaped bodies and body parts? Well, each animal is specially adapted to live in a particular environment or habitat. An adaptation is a feature of an animal's body or a behavior that helps them to survive in that particular environment or habitat. For example, fish have long oval-shaped bodies which help them to swim quickly through the water. And a red-tailed hawk has very light feathers and hollow bones which help it to fly through the air. Each animal has its own adaptation, which is just perfectly adapted for that environment. Let's learn more about different animals from all over the world and their adaptations by reading a book called What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? By Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. Animals use their noses, ears, tails, eyes, mouths, and feet in very different ways. See if you can guess which animal each part belongs to and how it is used. At the back of the book, you can find out more about these animals. What do you do with a nose like this? If you're a platypus, you use your nose to dig in the mud. If you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. If you're an elephant, you use your nose to give yourself a bath. If you're a mole, you use your nose to find your way underground. If you're an alligator, you breathe through your nose while hiding in the water. What do you do with ears like these? If you're a jackrabbit, you use your ears to keep cool. If you're a bat, you see with your ears. If you're a cricket, you hear with ears that are on your knees. If you're a hippopotamus, you close your ears when you're underwater. If you're a humpback whale, you hear sounds hundreds of miles away. What do you do with a tail like this? If you're a giraffe, you brush off pesky flies with your tail. If you're a skunk, you lift your tail to warn that a stinky spray is on the way. If you're a lizard, you break off your tail to get away. If you're a scorpion, your tail can give a nasty sting. If you're a monkey, you hang from a tree by your tail. What do you do with eyes like these? If you're an eagle, you spot tiny animals from high in the air. If you're a chameleon, you look two ways at once. If you're a four-eyed fish, you look above and below the water at the same time. If you're a horned lizard, you squirt blood out of your eyes. If you're a bush baby, you use your large eyes to see clearly at night. What do you do with feet like these? If you're a chimpanzee, you feed yourself with your feet. If you're a blue-footed booby, you do a dance. If you're a water strider, you walk on water. If you're a gecko, you use your sticky feet to walk on the ceiling. If you're a mountain goat, you leap from ledge to ledge. What do you do with a mouth like this? If you're a pelican, you use your mouth as a net to scoop up fish. If you're a mosquito, you use your mouth to suck blood. If you're an egg-eating snake, you use your mouth to swallow eggs larger than your head. If you're an anteater, you capture termites with your long tongue. If you're an archerfish, you catch insects by shooting them down with a stream of water. Did you know that here in the Bronx, we have many different animals that have special body shapes which help them to live right here in our neighborhoods? Let's take a look at a few. The first animal I want to talk about is the harbor seal. Take a look at this picture of the harbor seal. What do you notice about its body? Harbor seals have oval or bottle-shaped bodies, which means that it starts out sort of narrow at the top and it gets wider toward the bottom of their body. Now, this helps the harbor seal to live in their environment, which is the ocean. Their narrow body helps them to swim quickly through the water, and they can use their wide flippers in order to help them swim and chase after fish. We have harbor seals right here in the Bronx at Orchard Beach, and if you go in the wintertime, you can see them out on the rocks. The next Bronx animal I want to talk about is one that you've probably seen in your own neighborhood, the raccoon. Now, raccoons have a very special adaptation that not many other animals have. They have 5 fingers on their paws. This is pretty unusual, and it helps them to survive in their environment, which is a wooded or forested area, or here in New York City, it actually includes part of our neighborhoods too. Their 5 fingers on their paws help them to climb trees, to dig in the ground for bugs and other things that they like to eat, to even open things like our doors and our trash can lids. The last Bronx animal that I want to talk about is the box turtle. Box turtles are native to New York, and we can find them in our forests and near our freshwater streams and rivers. To tell us a little bit more about box turtles, we have a special guest. This is Elanor, the animal expert, and Pelham, the Chinese box turtle, who is a part of our collection. So Elanor, what can you tell us about box turtles and the shape of their body and how that helps them to survive in their environment?
All turtles have hard shells, which helps them be safe from predators, but box turtles can hide completely in their shells.
Yeah, that's really important for a turtle, right? To be able to tuck inside their shell for protection.
And the box turtles also have legs, and believe it or not, scales. These legs help them swim in the water. And they also have claws that are important for digging and hiding in the dirt.
Yeah, our turtle loves to dig in her enclosure, right? She's got a lot of dirt in there, and she likes to dig in there and burrow herself inside, both to find food and to stay warm and safe. And Elanor, what about the turtle's face? I noticed something a little unusual about its mouth.
Yes, Pelham has a little beak, but even just a little beak is very sharp. She uses her beak for catching worms and holding them in her mouth.
Yeah, so most turtles are actually carnivorous, meaning that they like to eat meat. And Pelham, our turtle, really loves worms, crickets, other bugs, sometimes even little mice. And she uses her strong beak to catch those animals, right? Well, thank you, Elanor, so much for coming and teaching us all about box turtles.
Goodbye.
Now that we've learned about some different animals from around the world and from even here in the Bronx that have really cool body adaptations, we're going to sculpt our own animal out of clay. For this activity, you're going to need a clay sculpting tool. You can also use a fork, a straw, a toothpick, anything really you have around the house, and some clay. Now, if you've received one of our launch boxes, you'll have all the materials you need. Otherwise, take a look around your home or your classroom and see what you can find. Now, I'm going to show you how to do the activity, and what you can do is either pause the video here and collect your materials, or wait until the video is done and then try it on your own in your classroom or your home. Before you get started, you may want to cover your workspace or use a cutting board because clay can be a little messy. You can use any type of clay for this activity: Play-Doh, Model Magic, air dry clay, or modeling clay. I'm going to use modeling clay because I like that it stays soft and I can reuse it after this project. No matter what type of clay you use, you want to first warm up your clay and get it nice and soft. Use your fingers and hands to squish, pull, flatten, and pinch the clay. Use your hands to roll it into a nice even ball. Today, I'm going to make a model of Pelham the box turtle. You can choose any animal you'd like. Just focus on which adaptations make it unique. First, I'm going to mix green and brown together because those are the colors I see on Pelham, but you can choose any color for your animal. Once your clay is nice and soft, use your fingers to shape the main part of your animal. I'm working on Pelham's shell first, which has a rounded dome shape to it. Next, I'm using smaller pieces of clay to create the legs, head, and tail of my animal. Sometimes it can be hard to stick those pieces onto the larger part of the body. In that case, you can use a pointed object, like a toothpick, to score or add lines to the parts you're going to attach. Those little lines help give your clay something to hold on to. Pelham's beak is a really important adaptation because it allows her to catch and eat her favorite food, worms. So I'm using my fingers to pinch out a little beak shape on her head. Her feet are also important adaptations. Her back feet are wider, which allow her to swim, while her front feet have little claws to help her dig. I'm using a toothpick to make her claws and a straw to make little scales all over her legs. Her legs are very scaly. Finally, I'm going to add her cute little tail. Now I can use a toothpick or other pointed material to draw in her scoots, those really big scales you see on her shell. And of course she needs little eyes. And lots more scales, because reptiles like Pelham are covered in scales. Which animal are you going to create? What are its adaptations? We can't wait to see. All right, now it's your turn to make your own clay animal at home or in your classroom. We hope you had a really great time learning all about the different animals and their body adaptations. See you next time. Bye.